All right, so this is day one of our review for 11A. Solving systems of linear equations by graphing and by substituting. Now, there's a note sheet. I didn't even start off with a problem. There is a note in the first slide of your review sheet. Can everybody go to that slide on your review sheet? Everybody make sure you turn to the right page. And this is just a little note. I'm going to make up some stuff here really quick. It says, how to tell how many solutions a system has. So the first thing you're going to want to do is write both equations in slope-intercept form. If one of the equations is not in slope-intercept form, you're going to have to change it. Now, I believe on your test there will be in slope-intercept form when it asks. Oh, actually, they're not. Okay, so I'm going to have to show you what I mean. So you will have to change it so both equations are in slope-intercept form. And you're going to check if they have different slopes. The only possible thing they can have is one solution. Everybody follow that? Different slopes equals one solution. But if they have the same slope, you've got to check the y-intercepts. So if they have same slope, same y-intercept, they have infinitely many solutions. If they have same slope, different y-intercept, they have no solution. You guys awake this morning? Okay. So let me just give you an example that is already in slope-intercept form. Let's say I have y equals 3x plus 6 and y equals negative 3x plus 6. Are they already in slope-intercept form? Yes, they are. So what's the first thing I check for? Do they have different slopes? Well, do they have different slopes? Yes. Good answer. So because they have different slopes, how many solutions will there be? One. Everybody okay with that? Let me change that slightly. Bam. Now look at these two equations. Do they have different slopes? No. They have what? Same slope. If they have same slope, what else do I have to check? I have to check the intercept. Do they have same y-intercepts or different y-intercepts? Same. So how many solutions will there be? Infinitely many solutions. And that should kind of make sense. They're the exact same equation, right? If they're the exact same equation, then they're going to have infinitely many solutions. But what if this was a negative? Do they have the same slope? Yes. Do they have the same y-intercept? No. Same slope, different y-intercept, we have no solution. Kind of see how this works? Okay. So you can get this without graphing or without solving. Let's take a look at an example. This is the second slide on your sheet. It says y equals 5x plus 6 and negative 15x plus 3y equals 18. But we have to write both equations in slope-intercept form. Which one is not in slope-intercept form? The second one. The second one is not in slope-intercept form. It has negative 15x plus 3y equals 18. Although which of these three things is in the wrong place for slope-intercept form? No, listen to my question. Which of these three things is in the wrong place if I want slope-intercept form? 18's okay because I want numbers on the right side. What's on the left side that shouldn't be there for y equals mx plus b? The x, the negative 15x, more specifically. So class, I want you to think, if I want to move this negative 15x, what do I have to do? Diana, what do you think I have to do? Add. So everybody add 15x to both sides. Sonia, what's going to be left on this left side? 3y. And what's on the other side? 15x plus 18. Is there anyone that didn't understand that step? be careful, is this exactly in slope-intercept form? Who thinks it is? Raise your hand if you think it is. Raise your hand if you think it is not. David, why not? The y is not by itself. What is with the y? 3. How do I get rid of 3 times y? Divide by 3. Where over here will I show divide by 3? You got to think back a month or two. All of them. Divide all of them by 3. So what's left on the left side? Y equals 5x plus what? 6. So this is that second equation, y equals 5x plus 6. What's the first equation? Y equals 5x plus 6. Now we can figure out how many solutions it has. Does it have none, exactly one, or infinitely many? Infinitely many. Because it's the exact same equation. Everybody follow that? Would you like to see a different method on how to solve that? Okay, there is actually a second method, and it's a method that you could probably think of. It's just using substitution. Could we substitute 5x plus 6 into here somewhere?
Yeah.
Kelby, where?
The y.
Into the y. Because it says y equals 5x plus 6, I can substitute that in for y. So I would have negative 15x plus 3 times something. What would be this something? 5x plus 6 equals 18. What step would I do now? Distribute. Nice job, guys. 3 times 5x and 3 times 6. Well, that would be negative 15x plus what's 3 times 5x? 15x. And what's 3 times 6? 18. And what does it equal? 18. Well, what happens to this negative 15x and this 15x? Cancel out. It goes away. What am I left with? 18 equals 18. Did the variables go away? Did the variables completely go away? Do you see any variables here? No. The variables went away, and 18 equals 18. Is that a true or false statement? True. So, because it's a true statement, we know that it's infinitely many. Questions on either step on how to solve that one? Did I actually ask you for a solution, or did I just ask you how many solutions there were? It's how many solutions. Okay? We haven't seen any homework problems quite like that, so I want to go over it. So here's what I would like you to do right now. There is a second one that's similar to this one. I'm going to leave the notes up for a second while you work it, and then I want you to answer the question on the calculator. I'm going to pause the video so we don't have to wait for that. Okay, so we're going to look at the results from the quick poll, and I would like to point out that everybody in first period got this right. Nice job. No cheering, no celebrating, anything like that? Right. Woo! All right. Manuel, how did you solve it? What did you do? Okay. And so how did you do that? He solved the second one. How did you do that? Mm-hmm. Okay, so he subtracted 2x on both sides, got y equals negative 2x minus 14. Okay, so I like that. You rewrote the other one. So he wrote y equals negative 2x minus 9. And so how did you pick A, B, or C here? You looked at the notes from slide 1, and you found out that, did they have same or different slopes? Same slope, but what? Different y-intercept. And what does that mean? There is no solutions. None. There are no solutions. How many of you used that method to answer this question? Okay, most of the class used that method. How many of you did anyone substitute, like the second way? I got a couple people. Jordan, will you walk me through that step, please? Okay, so you took negative 2x minus 9 and put it in for y, and what did you get then? Oh, let's not skip a step. Let's write that whole equation out. So if we put that in, what does that equation become? 2x minus 2x minus 9 equals negative 14. These cancel out. 2x minus 2x, they are gone, and you're right. You end up with negative 9 equals negative 14. And what did you find out about those two things? So it's not true, it's false, so the answer is still none. Do I care which method you use? No, whichever one's easier for you, use it, please. Okay? All right, let's go on. Any questions on those two? That's 2 questions on your test. You going to get 2 points off of those? All right, let's hope so. Y equals 3x plus 4. If the system has no solutions, which of the following can be the other equation? This is another good example. Let me pause the video one more time and send you a quick poll. I think you guys can do pretty well on this one. All right, so let's see how we did. And again, everybody who answered got it right. We got 15 out of 15. Got a couple not answered, but still we did an awesome job. Let's hear more clapping celebration. Woo! All right. Anthony, ignoring the equations. Ignore the equations for just a second. It says we want something with no solutions. Agreed? What do I have to have, Anthony, for it to have no solutions? A different y-intercept. And what else, though? And the same slope. Okay? Again, those are your notes at the very first screen. So, we're looking for same slope. What is the slope in y equals 3x plus 4? Class, what's the slope in y equals 3x plus 4? 3. The slope is 3. Which ones of these can I rule out because it doesn't have same slope? I can rule out B. It has a slope of negative 3. Okay, different y-intercept. Well, what's the y-intercept in the first equation?
4.
Plus 4. And I want a different y-intercept. So which one can I rule out? A, because it has the same y-intercept. So your only answer that's left is C. How do we feel about that, guys? Good? What kind of answer would this one have? This one would be none, right? What would this one have? Infinitely many solutions. What kind of answer would this one have? 1. Okay. Now do you think you can get 3 points on this test? Yeah, I think you can too. Okay, you guys are doing very, very well. All right. Well, that's a super easy question. Let's do a quick poll on that one. What is the ordered pair for what's graphed below? So I'll send you a quick poll here in a second. All right, so what is the answer of that graph? Most of you got it right. The answer is negative 2, 1, and the person that only missed it just didn't put the negative on there. So let's talk about that really quick. Does everybody, how do I find the answer on a graph like this?
The exit lines.
Look, no, manual.
Intercept.
Intersect. Look for where the lines intersect. Where do the lines come together at? They come together right here. And how do I know what that point is? I start in the middle. Which way am I going to go, left or right first? Left, which means it's going to be a negative. And how far do I go? 1, 2, so I put in negative 2. How far up? 1. If it was down, then what? It'd be negative. 2 questions like that on the test. I only gave you 1 example because I think these are super easy. Do you have 2 more points on your test now?
Yes.
Awesome. Good job. All right. Here's where it gets a little more tricky. Will you try graphing it yourself first and then tell me what the intersection is? Again. All right. So we're about 50% on this one. Let's see where we're struggling at. Apparently we're struggling with just graphing itself, but we're going to find out why. Okay? What form are both of these equations in? Slope-intercept. When I'm graphing from slope-intercept, what 2 things do I need from both equations? M equals, whoops, I messed that up. M equals and what? B equals. And I write that down for both of them. And I want you to write yours just like this. If you didn't write it down that way, please write it down that way. I want you to go M equals B equals, M equals B equals, just like that. What is my M from the first equation, Sonia? -2 is correct. Hernan, what is my B? Thank you. And Kaylee, what is my M? What is my M? 1/2. I misheard you. And Krishna, what would be my B here? -2. Okay? Good. So we got M equals -2, B equals 3. Umberto, what do I do first with this information? And how do I do that? Go up 3. Because the B is a positive 3, I go up 3. 1, 2, 3. Good. David, what do I do with this slope of -2? Put a 1 under it so I know what to rise and run. Good answer. And then? Down 2 times. 1, 2. Go over 1. Go to the right 1. Now, what else can I do? Somebody that will help me draw a better line. Keep doing that. Down 2 over 1. Down 2 over 1. Draw it a few times so that you can draw a better line. Okay. Aldo, where do I start with on this one? So how do I draw that? Down 2. Go down 2 because it was -2. And then what would you like me to do after that, Aldo? Just keep going. Now, what's really nice when I go up 1 over 2, guys? I already found my intersection. So I'm not even going to draw any more points. I'm just going to go bam, right on through it, put some arrows on it. And what is that point of intersection? No, you always go over first. Over 2, down 1. Always go over first. Over 2, down 1. Omar, in my 6th hour class, likes to say, go down the runway, because that's what an airplane does first, right? Airplane goes down the runway and then it takes off. Well, sometimes you take off and sometimes you go down somehow. I don't know how the airplane goes down. Maybe it falls in a hole. But just remember that that airplane has to go down the runway first before it does anything. Does that make sense, kind of what he's saying? Okay. Any questions on that? Now, how can you check to see that 2, -1 is correct? You put 2 in for x and -1 in for y, and you put them in the equation. And we're going to do this right now. So I want you to write the word check here. And the first one we're going to check is y equals -2x plus 3. What do I do with this 2? Put it in for x. So it's -2 times, not x, what will I put in here? Class, what will I put in here? 2 plus 3. And what will I put in for y? -1. Well, now You can either type that in your calculator just the way it is, or you can calculate it out. -1 equals, what's -2 times 2? -4. And -4 plus 3 is -1. It does check. Am I done? No. What else do I have to do? Check the other equation, y equals 1/2 x minus 2. So I have y equals 1/2 x minus 2. What will I put in place of y? Class, what will go in place of y? -1 equals 1/2 times 2 minus 2. What's 1/2 of 2? Guys, what's half of 2? 1. 1 minus 2 is -1. It still checks out. If both equations check, you know you got the right answer. Do you guys want to go to science apps? Do you guys want to pass? So shouldn't you check every answer you get? Okay? That's how you're going to do it. Okay, you have one more graphing one. I would like you to try this graphing one on your own, please. Recording. Okay, most of you that answered did get that right. We had 9 out of 11 get it right that answered. We did have a few people not answer, which I'm not sure what that means. Either we're not quite there or I just didn't give you enough time. What form, I talked too much today. Jasmine, what form is this first one in? Y equals mx plus b. And so Jasmine, what are the two things I need out of that? Slope and y-intercept. I need m and b. David, what are the m and b from that equation? M is 3, and b is 3. Well, let's just graph that now. Class, where do I start at? Up 3. Give me another point. Where's my next point? Well, what do I need to do with this m? Over 1, so I know I rise and run 3 over 1. So how do I do that? Up 3, 1, 2, 3, right 1. Can I do it again? Sure. 1, 2, 3, up 1. All right. Make ourselves a nice little line that looks something like that. Hey, what better go on the ends of these guys? Arrows. What form is this one in? Standard. What things do I need to get out of here if it's in standard form? The x what? Intercept and the y-intercept. What equation will I write down for the x-intercept? 2x equals 12. What will I write for the y-intercept? 4y equals 12. What do I do to both sides here? Divide by 2. You guys are doing awesome on this. Divide by what here? 4. And x equals what? 6. And y equals what? 3. For x equals 6 means I go to the right 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What if it had been -6? Where would I have gone? Left 6. Y equals 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's nice. Why is that nice? That's where my intersection is. Right there. Hold on, Kelly. I'm going to talk about what you did on your paper. Is that what you were going to tell me? Okay. What point is this right here? Class, what point is this right here? 0, 3. I don't go down the runway at all. I just go straight up 3, like a hot air balloon, right? Eileen? Okay, and that is exactly what Kelby did as well. Is that what you wanted to tell me too, Kelby? If you are good enough at changing equations into slope-intercept form, you can also change this into slope-intercept form. What's on the wrong side for slope-intercept form? The 2x. So what would I do to both sides? So if I have 2x plus 4y equals 12, subtract 2x, what's left on this side? 4y equals -2x plus 12. What do I need to do now? Divide by 4 everywhere. And I get y equals, here's where you got to be very careful. Last week I had a lot of kids tell me that this was -2, but it is not -2. What is this right here? -1/2 x plus 3, which means I would start at 3 and then go down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. Make sense? If you hate standard form and would rather do that, fine. Okay. We are going to continue our review tomorrow, so what better you bring to class? Bring the notes, bring your notebook. Very good job today.